It's the Gold Bike Podcast where the mic is gold and this is the podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and today we got Dubs. Okay, so Dubs is a YouTuber that is in this sector that is talking about, you know, Tariq Nasheed, American Cholo, Swifty Blue, all of these things that, has been circling around YouTube. And I came upon Dubs not because of this situation, but I learned about Dubs when Whack 100 was talking about how he was in Pelican Bay and he knocked down 30 Mexicans in a riot, and a lot of people called cap on it. I ain't never been to the penitentiary, and I called cap on that because anybody would tell you, anybody that has been jumped would tell you that, it's hard. There's no way to really just knock out 30 people in one riot, and that's how I knew about Dubs. I did check out a couple of his videos, but I didn't really, stay tuned to him. All right, so boom, once the American Cholo stuff came, he started popping up on my timeline again, and I start, watching his videos, and and from what I was looking at, Dubs come from a place of experience, and that's what I appreciate about what he talks about, because he talks from a place of experience and and wisdom, but personally I believe that deep down inside, he's probably fighting demons, that he's probably trying to overcome, because he have said that he was a former racist, so if you are a former racist, you had a certain type of ideology and just set into your mentality. And if you are a person like that, or used to be like that, for me, it's kind of hard for me to really think he's being sincere with the stuff that he's saying, because it always looms that maybe deep down inside he really still have that type of hatred, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Dubs right now because he is angry that Tariq Nasheed came on No Jumper and told the truth about American Cholo. And he is one of those guys that speak about the Rasa and things of that nature. And I said in one of my other videos about how the Rasa is pretty much rooted in anti-black racism. And for him to say that he used to be a racist, but he still screams Rasa, kind of contradict and make me feel like that maybe deep down inside he still do have those racist ideology, because I don't know what it is about Tariq Nasheed, but Tariq Nasheed makes this guy act in a way that is not what I normally see Dubs act like. He's literally mad at Tariq Nasheed for I don't know what, and I would really like him to explain in detail why he can't really just stomach Tariq Nasheed. I'm not saying that he's supposed to like him, but I don't understand what about Tariq Nasheed he don't like, because Tariq Nasheed, he is kind of a a anti-black racism detractor, and it's like that's what he tends to do. You know, if he bumps heads with people that are looming this anti-black stuff. And if this guy have a problem with Tariq Nasheed, it's almost like, is he just trying to use that Tariq Nasheed just to, you know, spill the way he really feel about black people in general, you know? Because like I said, you don't have to like him, but it's like, you know, I don't see what's so bad about Tariq Nasheed, you know? But we're gonna react to one of his videos about Tariq Nasheed at No Jumper. So boom, here it is. So let's go.
What's cracking, everybody? New video. So
yeah, shout out to Dubs. Like, that's anytime I watch his videos, every video he's gonna say, "What's cracking, everybody? New video." And yeah, that I dig that. But let's go.
I'm at work, a little dirty, but I decided I'm gonna do this video here on my lunch break rather than when I get home, because I'm pretty damn tired. So this video, where do I start? Do I start with the puppet master? Do I start with the groupie? Or do I start with the hustler? The hate.
Okay, so the puppet master is Adam22 because he owns No Jumper. He owns the platform that Poetic Flacco, which is the groupie, Adam22 owns the platform that Poetic Flacco interviewed Tariq Nasheed, the hustler. So that's what he's saying. So let's go ahead and continue.
Hustler. Or do I start with the hustler? The hateful hustler.
You see how he called Tariq Nasheed hateful? I need Dubs to tell me what makes Tariq Nasheed hateful. I'm just asking. I really want to know. There's, you know, I'm not asking in bad faith. I really want to know. Maybe it's something that I miss, because like I said, Tariq Nasheed typically bump heads with people that seems anti-black. So I don't understand why you guys are bumping heads. You know, maybe you have anti-black ideology, but you're trying to keep it in check. So, you know, but that's here nor there. Let's continue.
I guess I'll just start with the puppet master, right? You know, Adam22 is great at what he does, man. He likes to bring people on, whether he's interviewing or not. He knows what he expects with what he's putting on, right?
And that's a fact. That is a total fact. I do believe that Adam22, he really knows what he's doing. It's like he looks at different scenarios strategically. You know, he puts certain things together strategically, and I really do believe that he does things not out of accident, and things kind of happen because he is running a platform that, you know, needs attention, and for him, I believe attention is worth everything. But let's go ahead and continue.
I don't think Adam should have interviewed Tariq Nasheed. It's probably bad for Tariq Nasheed's brand to be questioned by a white man. So
this is like Tariq Nasheed's second interview with No Jumper, and in the first interview it was Adam as well as Poetic Flacco, just to put that on the table.
I could see why that didn't happen, but
And Tariq Nasheed was talking, straight about white people. He didn't hold back about how he, talks about racist white people in front of Adam. I just want to point that out.
Should have interviewed him.
Wait.
AD should have interviewed him.
AD should not have interviewed him. And I talked about this in my last video. About how AD really wasn't a good representative for black people when the American Cholo guy went on to No Jumper. He was kind of like a mediator. I'm not saying that he did a bad job or he did a good job. It's just that he didn't represent for black people, because there were a lot of things that the American Cholo guy really should have addressed, because he has a lot of content, a lot of anti-black content, and I wish AD would have just pushed back and challenged him a little bit on that. But let's go ahead and continue.
Adam's smart. That's all I'm gonna say is that man's gonna continue making millions and millions off us. People love his platform, man. He does his thing. He knows how to play people like a fiddle. Now,
and that's a fact. I don't know if you guys know, but go look up the secrets to selling to a Negro. Put that in YouTube, and in the secrets to selling to the Negro, they go over different ways that they sell to the Negro. It's almost like they sat back and they studied the Negro's shopping habit and created a formula or a system to get them to buy something. So go check that out, Google it or put it into YouTube. It's it's out there. But yeah, I do believe that Adam 22 is like strategically putting the puzzle pieces where he wants them. But let's go.
Let me go ahead and get to the groupie. Poetic Flacco was the worst person to interview Tariq Nasheed, because he would give his life to be Tariq Nasheed.
And that answer right there is a cop-out. He should have said that he believes, and I'm not trying to just tell him what he should say, but I'm just saying to just say that he's like that is a cop-out to a real answer of why you feel that way. But let's continue.
The giggling that he was doing, he was spoon-feeding Tariq the type of questions that Tariq could hit a home run with his hateful speech and his propaganda.
And that's a fact. I believe Poetic Flacco did pick and asked him questions that a lot of people wanted to know. If you wanted to know something, I really wish that he'll do a video listing what he would prefer people to ask Tariq Nasheed. It's like, what do you want to ask, and I like I said, I listens to Dub. I enjoy his perspective on things because he come from a place of experience, but I believe that he come from a place of hate as well. But let's continue. Anti-black hate, that is.
Flacco just giggled away. He didn't question him on anything. He didn't ask him to get into details. He didn't, there was no, that was just, here, let me just lob a bunch of stuff up to you to get your agenda that I love out in the public.
And if he loves Tariq Nasheed agenda, what is wrong with that? Because Tariq Nasheed agenda is to support black people and get black people's reparation. I don't see nothing negative aside from the comedy stuff. You got to understand that a lot of this stuff is entertainment Tariq Nasheed is an entertainer, so a lot of the stuff that he say, you know, is for me, I see it as a whole lot of jokes, you know, like he say with on those Twitter spaces, they use those spaces to roast each other, and I understand that, you know, this is entertainment at some point, and I still don't see what they see in, well, what Dubs see in Tariq Nasheed's mission that is so bothersome to him. But let's continue.
One thing that stuck out to me, there was a lot of things, but one thing that stuck out to me was how when Poetic Flaco, the Vato could barely speak. I don't know what's poetic about him, but hey, that's his name. When he asked Tariq about the Swifty Blue thing, and Poetic Flaco says, you know what, I don't really have a problem with what Swifty Blue said. He said Swifty Blue is saying, you know, he wants to make money with his people. He said, and I agree with that.
That is not what Swifty Blue said. If that is what Swifty Blue said initially, nobody would have had a problem with that. It'd have been A1 okay. But Swifty Blue went out of his way to say that he just wouldn't make a deal with black people. He blatantly said, and a lot of people try to clean it up and make it seem like he said what other stuff, and he just said what he said. You know, we know that it's wrong. But let's continue.
Who's your boss? That white dude, right? Adam 22, right? I guess we weren't supposed to notice that. You had a platform before you got on Adam 22, and that's when you were able to keep money within your own community. But you sold out. Keep it real. Don't point at other people when we're watching you. We're listening to you. You don't try to keep the money within your community. Neither does Tariq. Come on, man. Now let's get to the hustler.
Yeah, let's get to the hustler, the Mac of the year. You see the type of ways that he is talking. He just seems like he is extremely jealous of Tariq Nasheed. And I said that in one of my other videos about the American Cholo, because he's kind of the same way. He seems like he's jealous of Tariq Nasheed. But let's get back into the video.
Is a pimp. He's pimping minds. You see, listen to what Tariq says and do it objectively.
It's funny he say that, because I don't think he listened actually to Tariq Nasheed said objectively, but let's go.
Don't go in if you love what he has to say. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. If you hate what he has to say, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Don't go in with judgment. Hear him out. He exposes himself every time. See, Poetic Flaco is swinging from his nuts. Tariq,
and that is disrespectful. Express exactly what what Poetic Flaco did without trying to disrespect Poetic Flaco. You know, just kind of like, just say it, because that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you have to disrespect the guy just because you don't like what he's saying? I don't like what you say sometimes, and I'm not disrespecting you, but let's go ahead and go.
Say nothing wrong. Poetic Flaco will giggle and get giddy and butterflies and all that shit, right? But somebody like me, I'm listening, right? I want Tariq to tell me something that's going to provoke a positive thought. It never happens, ever.
Understand that Tariq Nasheed may never say something to stroke whatever you are going through, because you guys are two different people. You come from two different walks of life. So just understand that he is not going to go out of his way to speak on your behalf. And I've heard Tariq Nasheed have regular conversations with, people of Hispanic descent, people that understand what the problem is, and they just, want to have dialogue. And I've heard that on numerous occasions, even when Tariq Nasheed go after other anti-black immigrants. Sometimes there's immigrants that come on there and they speak respectfully to each other, and I just wish that Dubs would really, express exactly what he's asking of Tariq Nasheed. But let's go. Or is he just jealous of Tariq Nasheed?
What you hear, if you just listen, Tariq Nasheed, as rich as he is, right? As much money as he has, and in the suburbs that he lives in,
and all of that is irrelevant, and that is the language of a hater. Only haters speak like that. And I'm telling you, I know what a hater looks like. A hater speaks in that way, do all those little hand movements because they are envious. Why do y'all have to be envious of a black man doing it? Like, he's done things to make him that money. It's not like he just came from money. From my perspective, I understand that he didn't come from money, and he made his money however he made it. Why do you have to just be all about it? You just look jealous. But let's go.
He's a victim. He's a victim of racism.
All black people are a victim of racism. If you really want to understand black culture, just go back into history and do your research. It is well documented that black people are in fact today still a victim of racism. But let's go.
By Asians, by whites, by Mexicans. He doesn't even like blacks that don't agree with him. Listen to him. If black people don't agree with him, he has a name for him. A name that I won't say so that he can clip it and use it later. He says it. Listen to him. If you are a brother or a sister and you don't agree with his racist ideologies, he's got a name for you. He talked about the Asians, and he said, oh, yeah, they got some stuff going on where, they're cooking up cats and dogs in their restaurant and eating bat soup, and they don't get shut down. Damn, officer. Hold up. That's very stereotypical.
But then we have to wonder, is what he's saying a fact? And if what he's saying is indeed a fact, like, why is it a problem? But let's go ahead and go.
Stereotypical, right? You playing in the stereotypes. But even if they did eat that, maybe that's part of their culture. What the fuck's that got to do with you, Tariq?
That's not healthy for the public. He's talking about how they have businesses selling to the public in our neighborhoods. Were you really listening? Were you really listening and being objective, or was you listening with the ears of your heart, and let's go ahead and go.
You don't have to eat there. You damn sure don't got to go on Adam 22 and be the motherfucking food police. I think that if AD would have been interviewing, I think maybe AD would have asked him some questions, because AD isn't a groupie of Tariq.
And AD is super misinformed about, the black culture of, the not, I'm not going to say the black culture, but he's not up on this conversation about racism. AD kind of loves everybody the same, and no matter who you are, even if you are a secret racist, he still loves you, and is that not a bad thing, but is it necessarily good, that he'll lend a helping hand out to somebody that really hates him, so like I've said this a few times, AD was perfect not being on that interview, because I don't think he would have added anything to the conversation. But let's go.
It was funny how when Poetic Flacco asked the question that he already knew. When he asked Tariq, how can the brown and black community come together? Did you hear Tariq's answer? Well, there's systematic racism in Mexico and all these other Latin American countries. So when they fix that systematic racism in those countries, then we can get together here. What?
And that is not what he said. And I'm going to go ahead and end it here. He ended it on a blatant lie. That's why I say I challenge Dubs to really say exactly what Tariq Nasheed say, because he is doing the same thing and misrepresenting what he said. That is not what he said. Tariq Nasheed said that before that we can have a equitable relationship between blacks and browns, we have to put all of that anti-black racism coming from the Hispanic people all out on the table, and and we need to talk through it. We need to just face it and have dialogue about it. But until we have all of that stuff on the table and we talked about it, there's no way that we can have an equitable relationships between blacks and browns, because how could we act like we cool, and on our side, the black side, we are wholeheartedly saying, yeah, we cool, but on the other side, deep down inside, you still hate us, so it doesn't seem like it is a good idea for that. But like I said, I listen to Dubs. He comes from a place of experience, so that's why I do listen to him. But I kind of think he is just in his feelings about Tariq Nasheed for whatever reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it like this. This is the Gold Mike Podcast, where the mic is gold, and this is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and I'm out.